And while I do that, let's start with the questions. Sydney, do you believe education is more about knowledge or skills, and why?
Well, I think, well, for me, it'll be it should be the balance of the knowledge and skills. It's a kind, it's in knowledge, I mean to have that kind of theory, to know the concept of the things, to understand the things, and about the skills to have a moment to practice it, to apply it in the real life situation. But unfortunately, what I can see clearly in the classroom is we have only the part of the knowledge. I think the education system want us only to sit down to observe the knowledge in a passive way. First repeat what the writing and reading that knowledge from the books or writing in the notebook, and well, doing some exercise that in most of the time is not reflect the real life, the real world, and we don't have the. I think in some few moments we have the possibility to apply it, and I think to consol I can say consolidate the the knowledge, I think. But unfortunately, what I can see is it.
Yes, and I think a lot of people struggle with this model in schools where they just put the knowledge and they don't evaluate individual skills. Luis, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you think differently from Sydney?
Yes, I totally agree about Sidney said before, and I think that education is a mix between knowledge and the skills because sometimes you need to have both technical skills and behavior skills to reach a goal. Because sometimes it's more difficult to talk with some kind of people, of kind of stakeholders because you need to have that feeling in how to delivery, for instance, a product. So sometimes you need to have these technical skills, critical skills, and education helps, but you need to have another skills, more behavior, and these things, I think.
Yes, nowadays I think soft skills are very important. I consider them hard skills also because if you have the knowledge in your head but you cannot communicate what you know, it's in vain. Knowledge you have is in vain. Matheus, what do you think?
It's me? Sorry.
Sorry, question number one. Do you believe education is more about knowledge or skills?
Perfect. For me, I agree with the when the Luis talk. For me, I see that both are important, skills and education. Both education and skills are a good basic for making a good people and professional. And for me, it's it's a complement the others. And there are paper important in the life of the people because I see some people that are many skilled but don't have a good education, and it's important nowadays when you talk about this education, the business, for talk the other people, or understand one problem or create a good solution. For me, this, the both are important in the for the one people for the own life of the people. For me, the both it's a basic for the starting the career the people. I think that's it.
Thank you, Mateus. Erica, your turn. What is your opinion on this question?
I believe it's a combination of both because uh, skills are increasingly important, and I'm seeing this like a HR person, okay? Like if I was interviewing somebody, it's not about just know the agile methodology or be a scrum master. It's like you said, I have to know if this person can have skills like stakeholder management, negotiation, decision making to be effective in real world. So I believe it's a mix, a combination, but soft skills, as we say, are totally maybe a little bit more important in some case.
Yeah, especially on the cargos, forgot the word in English. On the
Positions.
position, thank you. That you have to communicate. For example, in my area, if I wanted to be more technical and less communicative, less soft skills, I could because I work alone most of the time. I don't make a lot of decisions for other people's. But the
Yeah.
team leader for my team or the product manager for my team, they have to be this. They have to be
Yes. I believe that only position in the world that don't need soft skills is like a data specialist because they have to work alone, just analyzing data and delivery data. Don't have to speak with people, don't have to uh, have any kind of relationship in the work. Uh, Science, data science that work as a specialist is just the only one position that I know.
Do you guys agree, Luis and Matheus? What do you have to say?
I disagree because in the data science you need to show the future about data. I think a data engineer possible, but I think it's impossible to work 100% alone because you work together with a team. I think.
Sometimes, but I know few people that don't have to, and I know autism guy that don't have to communicate with these people. Just study it, analyze it, and deliver the data in. Don't have any relationship. It's hard to him because we learned that you have to be a manager, a coordinator, something like that as a leader, and he can't. So he find a way to don't.
You're saying that you have an autist guy that don't follow the rules, you know? You have to adapt the.
It's not about rules. It's about behavior. It's about capacity. And he don't want to be a manager because he don't want to guide anybody. Don't want to communicate it. He want to just figure it out. Really hard data, delivery, and he don't have it. Just one-on-one no, dailies. As he don't speak at all. He doesn't speak. He don't have to. Okay, it's a case in a million. I don't think so. I know few, more than few.
Got it. All right, guys, let's go to question number 2. How has your perspective on education changed as you've grown older? Sydney.
Well, my perspective have changed about education since I've grown older. In the for example, the responsibility of the possibility is over me 100% to understand it, to have a good result. I think because for example, when I was a kid, I think that the teacher has responsibility to teach me, and all the things I learned need to come from there, and I didn't have to go to some place and to complement my studies, to read more about that, to search for some in different books. So So I've grown, I realized that all the things is over me, the responsibility. And another thing is that, for example, there are specific age to start to study and finish some stage. For example, I think when we are young, it's the best moment to study. Of course, we live in a poor country, so there are some people that don't have how can I say? Their families need to them to start to work early, so they don't have possibility to finish their school, their studies. Then, when they become adults, they can return to the school, but for them it will be more difficult to align some stage of their life, some adult stage, for example, to have their family, to take care of their kids, or to work and study, to work during the day and study at night. It could be hard. So for for me, I start to study in my I finished my school at the right moment, and I entered university in my 19 years old, and I finished it in 4 years ahead, and I started to study my post graduation and start it 1 year after 1 year, and now I think 5 years ago I started to study business administration, but it was so hard because my son was very young, in about 2 years old, and I need to divide it in two of at least in two at maximum three matters for semesters. But after some semesters, I gave up because I started to study English, so I didn't have time to combine the two things, the two studies. So okay, we can continue our studies, but in some month it will be more difficult to align all the things that happening in your life. So the two things I think I had that changed a lot in my perspective about education when I grow older. I think Sarah, I don't know, but let's think, Erica, what's your opinion about that question?
I think changes a lot because when we are younger, we grow older, we learn about memorizing, we learn about following a structured path, we learning in a different way. And when we get older, we realize that we learn and you have to apply, adapt, etc. So become less about degrees and more about real world experiencing, problem solving, and continuous learning. So this is for me the most difference between when we are younger and when we are adult. The way we learn, this in the way we see the learning path. That's it. Can go, Luis.
For sure. I was thinking here. I am from a time before the internet, and when I was young, child, and a teenager, the path to education was very clear and very binary. You will study,
Mm-hmm.
got a degree, and work. But after the internet come up, you had a chance to start a lot of different subjects and improve your skills in a real life world, like new technologies and kind of things. So until today, I have this perspective now because every time you have a new possibility to educate yourself, to learn new things, and never stop. I think it's this. And how about you, Matheus? What do you think about this question?
It's a good question. When you is younger, do you don't have so many perspectives this how this the people work or live in the other country. The people, I think it's when I remember the when I was younger, I don't have this vision, and today I see how much it's important you pass study time do you dedicate more. And I see some friends that pass don't have a good importance for this. And when you pass the years, it's the have a difference in your life, in your personal life, in your uh, professional life, relationship. I think it's important when you dedicate your time for your studying, for your learning the others language. It's important because do you use this education in the future? And for example, I when I start English, there are three years, 2 years, for example. But I don't imagine today I use English during many times in my work. I don't have this perspective when I was younger. I don't have this perspective. But today I see, whoa, I start one course in the past and today I use uh, totally the your concepts, your talk the other people in my activities. And for example, in the last week, I participated in an interview in English, and I don't have uh, this perspective. And one day I use this learning, and it's important you I don't know in English valorizar, né, os momentos assim da when do you study in the past, because in some moments do you use this learning. I think it's important. When I see the past, I think, oh, I don't use this. For example, I don't use math in my career. Today, I use math in my career all the time. And I think it's important you live and learning very well the other language, the other about your career, about people. I think it's important because today this the world is many changes, and it's important you learning a new skills and learning a new education. I think that's it.
Yes, and I think this is the job of our parents when we are younger to force us to study topics that we don't like and we don't see a future because they know that they have a future. Guys, are we in question number 2 or question number 3?
Number 3.
All right, so we're gonna start number 3 now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
All right. What is you guys' opinion on the importance of lifelong learning? Do you guys still study nowadays, or do you guys stop studying back then when you finish college? Sydney, what about you?
Yes, I continue to study, to learn. It's because as an accountant, and the tax law, the legislation continue to evolve, and there are also a lot of tons of complement of the new things, and I need to accompany, I need to follow to be the things to be updated in my area. And I think in all the areas, I think knowledge is not a static, it's continued evolving, it's constant, and I think we need to continue, essential to continue to learn in order to it's more in order to first to sharp our brain, our mind, in order to become better. I think it's interesting because when we stop to learn to study, we can realize how slow we become, how it's a kind of our brain rest. I think it's stop to improve. I don't know what happened in that, but uh, for example, to take the English like to example, if you stop to speak in some months, we could see the how low our knowledge become, and the yeah, I think that it's essential to continue that process, continue to learn and study something.
For sure, for sure. But it's hard, in my opinion, to continue to study because I don't have my parents telling me to study, so I have to be my own parent, you know? And I don't like study, so for me it's very hard. Erica, what do you think?
What's your opinion on the improve of life learning? Lifelong learning is not about degrees. It's about everything you have to know to improve yourself, and it's not all about money or career. If you think like that, the life you will be really sad and pointless. I see that way. I study a lot. I have a lot of degrees. I study a lot of things that is not on my LinkedIn, or that I even don't have a degree, but I just study because I know at some point could be help me. So last year, for example, I study, I don't know how to say, programação neurolinguística, just to understand people better and have some hacks to improve myself. It's not about, of course, help me with HR, but I don't put this on my degree. I don't tell anybody about this. I just want to improve some things in my life. So if you don't see study like money, degree, or career, I think it will be easier to study. You just have to know what we have authentic interest, what we want to learn. That is kind of fun. Last year, also, I just learned took a class that 2 months here in Argentina about wine. Was not cheap, but was super fun. I knew a lot of people, and I'm saying this because, guys, before my sabbatical year, I was like a workaholic from São Paulo that just spent all my money on expensive degrees, and didn't help me at all with my career. And after I realized that, and I started studying things that I really believe, I improved myself on this, changes, things really changed in my life and my career. So I see life learn. How can I say? Lifelong learning this way.
Nice, nice. A good experience to share because I haven't really thought about paying for classes that I really like, even if it is a big amount of money, just because it's gonna bring me joy. And yeah, just
Joy
because.
change everything. Joy make us more creative, more happier. We sleep better. It's changed everything. It's like efeito borboleta. So it's important to invest in this.
Nice, nice. Thank you, Erica. Luis, what is your opinion on lifelong learning?
Well, I totally agree about Sydney and the Erica said before. And yes, nowadays I think it's possible for everyone who works in technology. You need to learn every day something new. Well, we are eye to witness the rise of the AI. In the beginning of this year, I started to learn about AI to improve my everyday work because impossible will be impossible work without AI in the future. The future not in the present. And another example, well, I studied piano since my teenage years, and I never stopped to learn. And I have a lot of teachers, and I will study a lot. Well, I work to learn music, so it's very. I don't. I think it's impossible to stop to learn because nowadays it's simply insane. Think that you can't be you can still work and not improve every day because we know in the real life that the things are harder and getting more harder in the job market, these things, because you need to be very updated. It's very sad, but it's the reality, you know.
Yes, for sure. I'm curious about your piano lessons. Have you ever went through how can I say that? Have you ever wanted to stop trying piano, like you got sick of piano and you stopped for a couple of months and then you turn back to piano lessons?
Yes, a lot of time because piano sometimes can bring you a burnout because, for instance, when you start to learn um, Mozart, this hard piece of Mozart, you need to put a lot of effort to study. Sometimes it's not your was you are not prepared or you're not very confident about your, but a lot of times I pass for this situation, but I always back.
Nice, nice. I am going through this hard time now, and my mom is like, "You gave up on piano. You cannot do that." And I said, "Calm down, mom. I'm gonna turn back. I just am in a bad phase right now because I'm tired." But it's good to know that this happens. All right, Mateus, what about you? What is your opinion on lifelong learning?
For me, it's totally important because long learning it's essential because the world in general is constantly changing nowadays, and what we know today might not be enough for tomorrow challenges. And for me, it's important because, for example, in my area, uh, tomorrow or the others day there are new tools. For example, today in data analysis, do you use more the others tools about this SQL, for example, Databricks, Python. In the past, the people don't talk about uh, so many times about the Python for app in data analysis, but today it's a difference because in these tools there are many how can I say? I don't know in English. Bibliotecas. It's important for you trade up the data, and today it's a this skill is essential because there are many processes you put this learning in this process. The world is there are many chains, and I think it's important. For example, today I mean dedicate a part the time for learning. For example, Python, more about the SQL because the companies use it in many times. In my last job, I use full-time SQL, and the other experience, I don't have many comps. I have this experience, but I don't have this company because there are some questions about this governance in the IT, and I think it's important when you are learning different tools, different languages. For example, the English. It's important. Is all the areas, the production area. Part about my career, I work in a industrial, in the shipbuilding, the oil gas, technologies, sector automotive, and it's important you learning different tools, different education because tomorrow there are it's different the process. It's different this the work. I think it's important to use learning. It's learning, not learning about all the tools, all the education, but is specific about your career, about your area. I think it's important because, for example, today I'm learning English, but for me, don't have I don't dedicate a time for learning, for example, Japanese. I don't use Japanese today in my area. Today I don't use, but tomorrow it's possible. I think it's important you uh, dedicate a focus for learning the specific, in English, conteúdos about your career. I think that's it.
Nice. And your opinion is a little bit different from what Erica said, but it's still we are different people. You focus on your career, and Erica also focus on her career, but also in her personal life. And I've met people that like to read, for example, technical books in the morning as for fun.
Mhm.
You say you like also, Mateus. I cannot read a technical book, guys. I've tried before. I want to read romance, and I've tried to be very intelligent and read technical books and blah blah, but I don't like it. So
I don't even read. I hated read books. I
Uh,
learn with like this and seeing videos, and I'm so free of this thinking that people are more intelligent if they read. It's not about it. We have I don't know how to say, neurodiversidade. Each one learned in one way. So I don't even read. I'm so I'm free.
nice, nice. All
I
right,
don't
guys.
have one strategy when I learning about the technical books because, for example, I have one. It's this special here, but I don't read every time this book because it's many. How can I say many theories, and I like read a book and put in practice this learning. It's important because if you read any page, read, it's a moment that you don't remember what do you read the other page. For me, it's all the time. It's funny because I read one book about storytelling with data. It's very famous this book, and I read a book it puts in practice because if you don't put practice, the other days I don't remember nothing about this book. I have this when I start a new book, I like read, for example, 2, 3 pages, and I put in my project this topic here, or I have notes about this, and I use it in your project, but I like put in practice. It's important you learning more.
Nice, nice. Yes, this is something I don't do. I have to. It's a good tip. Thank you, Mateus. All right, guys, let's go to question number 4. How do you feel about the role of technology in modern education? Sydney.
Yeah, I think the technology has transformed completely the modern education. I think make it more accessible first, interactive, and the personality. I think nowadays we can find some app that can that were designed to develop some point, some specific
Mm.
point that you want to improve, and but of course, for example, my wife, she works as a teacher, and she needs to follow some the fixed curriculum that the the education national department gave for them. But but the kids, the students, they nowadays, because of technology, they can find different ways to complement their studies. Yesterday, my wife, she downloaded an app for our son to help him in his literacy alphabetization. And he in this app asked him to write the letters. So, for example, write the letter C. So he wrote it, and that app gave him a real feedback. Okay, you are great, and some sound, some balloons showed up in the screen. So it starts to motivate him in his studies in a different way, because treating about the traditional classroom, we don't have that kind of things. It's more like modern way to study than to use that things. So I think the role of technology in modern education is doing that different, is giving to the students, to the people, a different way to see the education.
For sure. And it can also help people that struggle with the normal ways of education. For example, people with TDAH or people with autism, something like that, that they are not fit for the conventional way of learning in classrooms. Technology can help adapt themselves to the content. What is your opinion, Erika?
I was thinking about how technology changed the way I learn things because I work in a boot camp. Boot camp is kind of a school, a technology school. I see that everything is so, I don't know how to say accessible. Somebody knows how to say accessible in English? I wanted to know. I want to learn this. I have it. Accessible.
Accessible, yes.
Okay, so with technology, we can learn. Okay, modern education making learn more interactive, accessible, and personalized, as people can learn in his own pace. People can access the content. I don't know how to say, access global resource of content. People can develop practical skills by themselves or with school. So I see this way how requires discipline. I know because I learned with a lot of students, and I don't see a lot of discipline. But also I see more distractions because people are learning. Like I have 3 pantallas monitors here. I have 3 TVs. I don't know. I have 3 here, and I can be really distracted if I don't close everything just to be here on this immersion. So have good points, good views and bad views, but my favorite is more accessible to everybody that have internet or can download some content in somewhere. And this is amazing. This is really amazing, and it's not so easy, but this is what how I see how technology impacts this education, the education these days.
Nice, nice. Yes, accessible is a good word. We have challenges, but we have also the good side of technology. Luis, your opinion on this subject?
Well, I think that the whole of technology nowadays is wonderful because was possible to me change my career in during the pandemic times, and I learned a lot. Learning technology with technology, So I'm very thankful for these times.
I have never realized that I also use a lot of technology to change my career. I also did a transaction in my career during the pandemic, and yeah, technology was the only way that I could do that.
Yes, for instance, I was from social communication, and suddenly the pandemic came. Everyone in my work quit and went abroad, and I have to learn Python, and I became a data analyst. So was
I think in the past we cannot do this very easily like we can do now. And we can consume this knowledge in our own time, like Erica said, in our own pace. Back then, we should maybe get a degree, study 4 or 5 years in a college to change careers.
yes.
Nice.
My students took a booty camp that have 10 months, the larger one, and they transitioned. I don't know how to say transition. Transition. I hated the word. They transitioned. I don't know how to say it.
Transition, I think.
And in the past, transitioned of career in 10 months. Don't have to go to university anymore. Okay, a lot of careers have, but technology, you just don't have it. It's amazing. It's amazing to see this new era. I like it.
Me too, me too. Matheus, what about you?
For me, it's important because the world today there are many challenges, and technology plays a transformative role in the modern education, making learning more accessible, personalized, and dynamic. For example, in the past, for you learning English, the people don't have this facility today for the people learning English. For example, don't have many, how can I say, muitos recursos in the internet for the people learning. And the people learning English in the book, read the book and talk the others. For example, I make one course in the past, and I don't talk in English when I talk to the talk. I never. I read the grammatical. It's important you learn grammar, but I don't put in practice when I this talks the book. And today it's more accessible this learning because the past in, for example, 10 years don't 10 years ago don't have this facility for the people learning. There are many courses, and they are it's help for the people learning English. For example, ChatGPT. There are others. For example, do you create a simulation in the interview in English? The ChatGPT is very good for you put in practice this learning. It's really ChatGPT don't talk, but the ChatGPT writes. It's for me
Talk.
helping me a lot. Sorry,
Sorry. But ChatGPT talks. I use it.
ChatGPT talks,
I pay and I use it. I speak Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese with him, like we are talking right now.
but
Yeah.
it's a ChatGPT the plus.
Maybe I pay. I pay ChatGPT.
Okay. I don't know.
But
I don't know this
sorry.
possibility.
The,
Oh, good.
the free version, we can talk for 30 minutes per day.
Oh,
If you
Yeah.
don't pay.
Yes. We don't need to
Okay.
pay, but there is a limit about 30 minutes or 4
Mateus.
minutes per day.
Yeah,
oh
Mateus,
my
you have
God.
to try. It's amazing.
So, today, do you for the you practice in English? Do you have one people today? I don't know this possibility this ChatGPT because I see the ChatGPT is a different plans. For example, the ChatGPT Plus, and I use for simulation the interview, but I don't have these skills the ChatGPT for talk. Good. And for me, it's important you this facility today. And the English, for example, in the past, I'm very afraid for talking English when you interview. And I remember in 30 years ago, one recruit, the USA, asking me in the LinkedIn, "Oh, Matheus, I have one opportunity about this data analysis, and do you have do you want a participate the interview tomorrow?" And I answer, "No, I'm not," but I'm afraid because talk the other people the USA in English, and but today I have this more facility to participate, talk to the other people. But in the past, for me, it's a how can I say? It's complicated to talk this, put in practice my English. That's it.
For sure. Oh, sorry, I was reading Erica's message on the chat. I also tried ChatGPT tool to practice German because in the past I did some German classes. It is very amazing. I talk like I record an audio and the ChatGPT records an audio back. It's very good.
Can I give some tips about it, Mateus? Sorry, I can.
Of
It's
course.
just really good. Put your profile on ChatGPT. Put I don't know how to say, scope of the position that you are applying on ChatGPT. You ask him to make possible questions about this interview. Give details, and he will send you. You don't have to talk. Just write, and you will see questions that the HR will do it, and you can practice a lot. If you can pay and talk with him, it will be amazing. You just can do an interview with more confidence, and the good energy and the interview can help you a lot more than in English. You have no idea, because if you have interview with American, Canadian, European person, they don't care so much about your English. With a bit true English, you can work abroad. So practice with ChatGPT in Talk and Talk. Don't leave Talk and Talk, but continue on ChatGPT with the right questions, and it'll help you a lot.
I don't know this possibility ChatGPT. I see the ChatGPT when you put create some specific question about I describe this my area, and the ChatGPT the others create this question, but I don't know these topics. It's good talk about this.
Explore this. You will be surprised.
Good.
Saindo um pouco do tópico aqui, o meu namorado usa muito o ChatGPT e eu acho muito engraçado, porque eu pergunto pro ChatGPT e ele me responde, eu tô satisfeita. Meu namorado pergunta, porque a gente compartilha a mesma conta, então eu vejo o histórico. O ChatGPT responde, aí meu namorado fala assim, não estou satisfeito, você consegue fazer melhor do que isso. E ele vai questionando mais ainda o ChatGPT, que eu nunca pensei em fazer isso, mas que funciona no final das contas. Guys, all right, our time is over. Thank you so much for the talk today. Have a nice week. I hope I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, people.